Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, October 3rd, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath, rising and falling, still as a statue, no outside interference. One of the quickest ways to shift your direction, if the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice, Meister Eckhart. When you're in a certain mood, a bad mood, down or frustrated, that has a tendency to pull us deeper. It does. It takes us in and it pulls us deeper. And before we know it, we're attracting more of the same. But there is a key that you can immediately shift your direction. I mean, immediately. By gratitude, by expressing your gratitude about something. There's always, I don't care if it's in the middle of a raging storm in your life. It's just step away from the mind and look at what you're immediately grateful for in that moment. It's a transformational energy. And it's one of the most powerful transformational energies on this planet. It's like a spontaneous, it's a response to a downslide that you're aware of, that you're in, and you immediately focus on gratitude. Each time that this happens, you're able to send out high vibrational energy that starts magnetizing even more abundance into your life. Each time you bathe yourself in the energy of gratitude, you expand the knowingness inside you that you are truly an abundant being who lacks nothing at all. We're all that. Really. But we spend our time dismantling that. Now, we don't do it on purpose. I say, I'm going to dismantle that abundance. It just, we're used to it. We do it all the time. We don't even think twice about it. And then we wonder why we have these situations in our lives. Where did this come from? How did this happen? Why am I experiencing this? I mean, it's an in-your-face thing. And then you realize, you say, wait a minute, I'm the one doing it. I've got to shift out of this. Do I really want to spend my energy being pissed and angry or irritated about some stupid stuff that's fleeting? Or am I going to stop myself and say, laugh about things? And laughing is another powerful transformational energy. How many people do you see nowadays that laugh? Do you see many? Do you laugh? There was a gentleman years ago by the name of Leo Buscaglia. He was on Johnny Carson's show, and he'd make his rounds and everything. He was a pretty good-sized guy. He's about 6'3", 6'4". Now, what he felt that he could make a difference on the planet is by hugging people. Okay? I'm not talking about people you know. It's just walking up and hugging everybody and everything. At the time, there wasn't so much subterfuge and problems and, he hugged me. You know what I mean? That wasn't really prevalent at all. So he'd go around hugging people. He wrote a book. Wrote more than one book. He was kind of like a motivational hugger. And I was at years ago at a summit, and he was there. And he was walking down the hallway. Well carpeted. It was in a hotel. And he just walked up and picked me up and hugged me. And it felt good. It was great. It gives people a good feeling when you go up and you get a hug. But most of us are afraid to hug. You ever seen people hug? How many people, strangers, I'm not talking about people, even people that know each other, that come up and full body hug. No space in between. No, you do the fist, the bump or the shoulder bump or the chest hug so that your body's bent out away from the other person's body. Can you see how we have been trained to become as far as interacting with each other? Now, if you go back, 50 years, that wasn't an issue. If someone came up and hugged you, it was great. Now, with all of this, a way to not hug, okay? Or I love the ones that the diplomats do, where they bump the cheeks on each side. That's been going on for generations. And it really does look synthetic. We don't hug anymore, and we don't hug ourselves anymore. We become so insensitive with ourselves to begin with, and then that floods over onto others. So when you interact, there's another one. Because of the technologies, we don't interact a lot. And I'm talking about one-on-one communication, laughing, joking, hugging. We don't do that anymore. Our faces are buried into a technology, a smartphone, right? And that's been going on for years. And then we want to communicate, we text each other. Now, I'm not saying texting is negative, but can you see how it drains us? You're not aware of it. People aren't aware of it, but it drains us. How does it drain us? If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay? And a lot of things. So if you're not using communication skills, like one-on-one communication with other people, no technology, it's you and other people, them and you. And you get to the point where it gets more and more less communication, organic communication, and more technical. It takes away the human element. This is why so many people have issues today communicating. This is why so many people on the internet are on the internet communicating and hiding behind the PC. You see what I mean? It desensitizes the civilization. What do you think is happening now? Well, you have all that, and then you bring in the AI. You can see it as an observer. It isn't hidden. You can see it in communication skills with people, lacking in a large way. People feel better and safer to text or email than to pick up a phone and to call people. And the phone's right there. Now remember, at one time, we had corded phones in the wall. Landlines, hardwired phones. We didn't have cordless phones, wireless, or anything. Those came later in the house, 900 megahertz with the antenna, and you could make calls. It was great because it didn't have a cord on it. But we didn't have, when you would leave your home, or you would leave where you're living, you didn't have a phone. You didn't have that. Nobody did. You'd get in your vehicle and you'd travel away. No one could reach you if they needed to. But it wasn't something that anybody was really concerned about because nothing was introduced to cause them to be concerned about. Okay? Look at some of the old movies and someone had to get somewhere. They were in their car and they were hurrying up to get there. But what I'm talking about is desensitivity of humanity. Demoralize. Kindness, caring, passion, compassion, generosity, humbleness. Those things are not front and center. People have become so conditioned and to be so frightened of out there. And where is it? Well, technology helps us in many different ways. In other ways, it takes away from us. It's the flip side of the coin. There's always another side. You kind of weigh the pros and cons. It's your relationship with you that affects everything outside of you. Period. It really is. And do we realize this? No, I don't believe so. We're too busy doing things. From one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. We're just too busy. And then, do we take a break or slow down? Not a lot, if any. So we're on this high-stress roller coaster. And we get acclimated to the high-stress roller coaster. That's why so many people end up with so many issues. Huh? And then, of course, that kind of snowballs into bringing in a lot of low frequencies. When you get upset with yourself, that's a genuine upset. It is super powerful because it brings in and attracts negativity. It's like a sponge. Because usually when you're upset, you're irritated with yourself, it's high energy, and you don't realize it, but you send that out. It's like a burst, and that burst affects everything around you, and it attracts other bad things to come in or negative things to come in. See, this is all about navigation. It really is. It's about navigating your life. Like I say, you're the master and commander. So you're on a ship and you have to navigate. You navigate the waters. Stay away from the huge choppy winds. If you can't avoid them, stay on the outer fringes. But most of us spend most of our time not within, not navigating within, but out there. And most of us, I think, maybe, is that we always have the choice to be grateful for what is, or not grateful for what is. We all have the power to choose what kinds of thoughts and feelings we focus on and eventually manifest into our lives. We can choose to adopt an unending attitude of gratitude or remain strapped to the judgmental, fear-based merry-go-round of the mind. And that's exactly what it is. Gratitude's freedom. And it's been proven billions of times, if not trillions. It will make your life easier than you could ever imagine. It will bring you such a vast experience of love that you will freely feel and experience your own soul. It's a way of living your daily life. Not once in a while, oh yeah, I'm grateful for this and that on occasion. Thankful, appreciative. So it's a way of living your daily life. It's like opening the door to a brilliant new world where the sun is always shining its warmth inside your heart, wherever you are. And we naturally feel the divine love and abundance that is inside us and all around us. Have you ever been around anybody in this life that has a heart that is brimming with gratitude, does not allow the mind to be cluttered with ideas, opinions, and attachment to desires? It knows itself as the source of love itself. Now, a lot of people have trouble staying in touch with their heart's natural, grateful connection. You may have let your mind or an inner judge attempt to squash this flame of love. Fire's not dead by any means. It just needs a little stirring. The heart that is forever thankful always breaks free from the ego's contracted thought patterns. Its natural warmth is always able to receive and give love freely. One might ask, well, then why are more people just genuinely grateful? They're too busy being busy, distracted. And since it's one of the most enlightening life experiences we can access at any time, you always feel lighter and less burdened by the end of the day. And when you practice directing this appreciation towards yourself, others, and the world, there is a natural de-armoring process that happens. Start each day with shedding that protective armor around your heart and opening your heart to this divine feeling of appreciating everything. Any time that you are not feeling gratitude, simply refocus on what you like, love, or appreciate about a situation. It's that simple. It is always within your reach. It is just a question of your focus and reining in your mind. Now, some people, if they feel their shields are too thick, then you become quiet enough inside yourself to get in touch with the core of your heart. Create some time to relax and be very, very, very still, like in this meditation. This will help you dig beneath the shields, resistance, and wounding from the past. Use your breath as a vehicle to take you deeper inside so that you can go beneath this false protection. All armor is created for the ego, by the ego, and within the ego. It is all unnecessary weight, since the soul is like sunlight, does not need defending. Once this armor is released, you will naturally feel a lighter, warmer feeling inside. And a deep state of gratitude will surface and pour through you into this world. Now, taking off one's ego armor can be pretty tricky. Any moment that your mind gets derailed and goes down the dark path of frustration, victim story, fear, or complaining, stop it immediately. Switch back to the gratitude track. It could be as easy as asking yourself, what's one thing that I am grateful for right now? Or I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I am in. Period. Just during the course of your day. Good news is that there is always at least one thing that you can be grateful for, no matter what is happening in your life. Perhaps it's that you have the power to imagine a new you, your health, good friend, or just that you are still breathing. Whenever you cannot see the silver lining around the dark clouds in your life, simply open your heart, breathe deeply, and then think about as many things as you can to be grateful for. And in each moment, there are so many incredible things that you can be grateful for, large and small. Open your heart, relax, look at the bigger picture. Soon you will realize how truly, deeply, and eternally loved you already are. Now, interestingly enough, people go, that's a lot of work, I got a lot going on in my life, I really, I'm grateful for things. I'm appreciative for things. Kind of iffy-biffy. But when you truly live in a state of constant gratitude, it doesn't take work. It simply takes more awareness. It is our most natural way of being when we are present, when we connect with our natural essence and pure consciousness within. Excuse me. We can see and feel the divinity within everything. This is not something strange that needs to be learned like juggling balls. It's as easy as taking a fresh breath of air. Kind of like making it our number one priority to be aware of gratitude. Notice how much it is already a part of your life and what it will feel like to bathe in it 24 hours a day. So what that is that you are in a constant state of gratitude all the time. I don't have time to be grateful all the time. I got things happening, Not everything's wonderful. True. But you can choose to stay in that energetic frequency. It is uplifting, it is releasing, it is freeing. And it doesn't mean that, you're not going to have these little dips here and there, but you will be aware on what direction to take. Now, I haven't come across anybody that says, no, I'd rather be miserable. It's the attitude. It's our natural state of being. It really is. It isn't something that needs to be forced. It's our natural state of being. And when we embrace it, everything shifts. Everything, your perspective, your outlook, attitude towards other people, yourself, other people. And see, that changes, it also opens up avenues and doorways for other things. Changes your perspective. You shift out of the doom and gloom. Your frequency increases. Then you start saying, I like this. I like my frequency being higher. And what is that? Because you're in joy. Yeah. You are in joy. There really isn't, it's a no-brainer to immerse yourself in appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness, first of all, for your own life. It's always got to be, it's always got to be your life first. Once you understand you, comprehend you, then everything else opens up. If you view yourself with love, admiration, generosity, kindness, humbleness, you will view others that same way. Everybody wants to be happy. That's a given. In order to be happy, you've got to shift your direction, perception, and attitude into gratitude. That's it. All the time. And you end up becoming more in gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness than you do the lower frequencies. After a while, it becomes so natural for you that it's automatic. Period. You don't even have to think about it. You just do it. You move into it. And then other things start to open up. You begin to become exposed to a lot of high vibrational frequencies that the universe is sending in. Because you have picked it up. And now you're magnetized to attract higher vibrational frequencies, happiness, joy, bliss that is provided to you from within you. You might want to try this some morning, for a few days or more. You take about 15 minutes every morning to practice being this silent, right? Still, frozen statue inside. Become the grand observer who watches all mental activity and outer storms go by. With your eyes closed, watch each thought that comes in like you were watching a cloud pass by. Do not judge or interact with the thought. Simply become the observer. Continue to watch it. Now, should you become wrapped up in your thoughts, simply notice what has happened and go back to watching each thought. The more often you practice being physically still, the more you will naturally feel calm and centered, no matter what type of inner or outer storm is brewing. See, this stuff's all about practice. It really is. It's about us practicing. Attracting. It isn't complicated. Okay? So you have higher frequency, you will attract higher frequencies. If you have lower frequencies, you'll attract lower frequencies. If you have kind of like in-between frequencies, you'll attract in-between frequencies. There's no way you can debate it. It's been proven trillions of times. So why don't we do it? Well, it boils down to about how we feel about ourselves. Okay? That's what it boils down to. How do we feel about ourselves? See, if you're always angry and frustrated and, vindictive and striking out at people, you're unhappy with you. Period. And what does that do? Well, it's like this huge magnet that literally pulls similar frequencies into your life. So anything happening on this planet, if you're good with yourself, really, truly good with yourself inside and out, you can change it. You focus on what you want. You can change it. See, it isn't something that you are powerless with. You have the power to change, shift anything you focus on. Now, if you start off and you're doubting it right away, A little voice in the back of your head going, this is silly. You're not powerful. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're wasting your time. And that doubt negates it. It drops you down negative frequencies. And when that happens, because it happens, none of us are exempt from it. The primer is that we know it. You say, I'm not going to stay in this. You might be in it a little bit. And then you say, I'm not going to stay here. What am I grateful for in this very moment? This very moment. What am I thankful for? What do I appreciate? I know to some it sounds kind of crazy, but it's practice. It's moving us out of the conditioned mindset and to footloose, fancy-free, wild and free. Knowing that there is nothing that we cannot do, there is nothing that's holding us back, there are no limitations, and everything is possible. And anything that's been done can be undone. Joining the meditation, I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Have no attachment to the mind. Notice how your thoughts come and go as they will. Get really curious and watch closely how the mind is just doing its thing. It's either following thoughts, expressing thoughts, letting them float on by, or watching them fade away. I'm wondering, which thoughts do you most enjoy thinking? Which thoughts would you like to hear repeating? Pay more attention to those thoughts, because whatever we focus on grows. Choose wisely. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight at after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. And Saturday, October 4, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart, allow the magic to flow in.